guys are eating candy tonight, feel free to do that.
The official candy of the Urb
Thrasher here with Radical Russ.
Howdy, everyone.
Coming at you from Rip City here in Portland, Oregon, man, and we're having a great night. And I want to finish my thought real quick on Monty Pittman, because this dude's a freaking badass, man. So, he used to play for Prong, too, and that's how I know of Monty Pittman.
Okay.
In the early 90s, he was a thrash monster. And so that explains the riffage that you just heard right there. Sure. But in 2001, Guy Ritchie, who's a filmmaker, was his third student. And at that time, he's Madonna's boyfriend. And so there's the connection right there. Soon after, Bonnie introduced him to Madonna. And so then Madonna needed a guitar player one night for David Letterman. Okay. And all she knew to do was call Guy's guitar teacher. And so she called Monty Pittman, and she loved Monty Pittman so much, she basically hired him right there on the spot. And so from 2001, starting on the Drowned World Tour, from then on, and he shares writing credits on the albums and stuff. So this dude is a freaking monster. So you guys definitely get out there and check out Monty Pittman. All right, Russ, man, all kinds of news going on. You guys know that cannabis community, man, we are fighting, we are moving forward. Every state, it seems these days, is in the news for the cannabis. Russ, what kind of news do you got for us tonight?
Well, the biggest news, of course, had to do with over the weekend that the President of the United States, Barack Obama, had this interview.
Oh, I heard about this.
That he did with the New Yorker magazine, and had some quotes that, well, I'll just read them to you because they're just pretty amazing to hear some common sense now coming out of the White House. Although there is a little bit of reefer madness that we'll get to at the end as well. But here it is. Basically, the president said about marijuana that he doesn't think it is more dangerous than alcohol. That's the big takeaway there. The president said he doesn't think marijuana is more dangerous than alcohol. And this, of course, isn't a risky statement because, like, the latest polls show that it's over 80%. It's like 84% of the people don't think marijuana is more dangerous than alcohol, and 74% think it's safer than alcohol, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a few that think it might be about the same, and there's only like 10, 15, 16% that think that marijuana is more dangerous than alcohol. And of course, this is important because we find that when people think marijuana is safer than alcohol, they're much more likely to support legalization. So Obama agreed, I don't think it's more dangerous than alcohol. He also said, as has been well documented, I smoked pot as a kid, and I view it as a bad habit and a vice, not very different from the cigarettes that I smoked as a young person up through a big chunk of my adult life. So now we've got him comparing it to cigarettes as well, saying it's a bad habit, it's a vice, but, you know, we don't lock up cigarette smokers. We don't arrest cigarette smokers. So that's good news.
He's almost leaving medical out of it right there, too.
Yeah, just
in a way, he's kind of, that's not even an issue. It's more this.
That's right. He's just talking about, right out about the legality of marijuana, making it legal. And he also said, when the interviewer started asking him, well, do you think it's less dangerous than alcohol? Do you think it's safer than alcohol? The president paused and said, it was in terms of its impact on the individual consumer. So hedging a little, because that says, well, maybe to society it's not as dangerous, but to the person it is. But we'll see. He also mentioned that he discouraged his daughters from smoking pot, saying, it's not something I encourage, and I've told my daughters I think it's a bad idea, a waste of time, and not very healthy. But he's concerned about incarceration rates for minorities, saying middle-class kids don't get locked up for smoking pot, and poor kids do. Then when they asked him about, he also said it's hypocritical for people to be receiving long sentences while the people who wrote those laws probably did the same thing, smoke pot themselves. And then also said it's important for the legalization in Colorado and Washington State to go forward because it's important for society not to have a situation in which a large portion of people have at one time or another broken the law and only a select few get punished.
Yeah. Well, I love that quote right there, too, because he's also emphasizing that states' rights. He's also saying, here, you got two states right now where the people, this is what they want, and they're moving forward, and we should let the two states move forward like they're supposed to, because that's kind of how it was designed in the first place, is the states got to figure out who does what, and then when we see that they're doing great, then other states, if they want to join, they can join, and that's kind of how it works, and it's almost like he's saying, here it is.
Yep. And at the conclusion, though, he did bring in a little bit of reefer madness. He did say that people who claim legalization will solve a slew of other problems are overstating the case, and that the new laws in Colorado and Washington State will be a challenge and would lead to tougher debates on hard drugs by saying, quote, "You do start getting into some difficult line drawing issues. If marijuana is fully legalized and at some point folks say, well, we can come up with a negotiated dose of cocaine that we can show is not any more harmful than vodka, are we open to that? If somebody says, we've got a finely calibrated dose of meth, it isn't going to kill you or rot your teeth, are we okay with that?" End quote. Well, this is gateway theory, right? And the problem with it is the polls show that 58% of the people support, or actually the CNN poll showed 55% of the people are for legalization of pot, but only 4% are for legal coke or meth. Mm-hmm. So, it's a red herring, man. It's something that meant to distract us and scare us when it really has nothing to do with legalizing marijuana.
Yeah, yeah. Well, where's Holder in all this? Is he kind of backing, up? Not that he needs to back up the president, but he has a heavy hand in all this.
That's the other good news from the week, and that just happened yesterday. Attorney General Eric Holder made an announcement that the Departments of Treasury and Justice will be working together to very soon provide new guidance and regulations for banks.
Bam!
So that, and specifically mentioned it wasn't just to allow the Washington and Colorado legal businesses to use banks, but also the medical dispensaries in the 15 states that have them will be able to use banking facilities.
Well, that was huge.
Which is great news for Oregon, which is ramping up its dispensary industry to start here in March.
That's right. No, it's huge. I remember a time where in the news, we were having businesses, PayPal was cutting our businesses, and, banks were taking us, had nowhere to go. And now to see this news, and it's funny because cash is always going to win out, and they just kind of needed to make sure that millions of dollars was going to be forked through.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, the banks are silently calling up the press going, dude, what the hell, man? There's millions out there. Come on. And so it was only a matter of time. But anyways, at least it is moving forward. And to me, this is one of the biggest things that we've had in the last 20, 30 years in Prohibition.
Yeah, from the beginning of this week to the end of this week, from the president to the attorney general. And now, also in this week, we're seeing cracks starting to form in the South. We got Governor Rick Perry coming out for decriminalization, the governor of Texas.
Wow.
Coming out and talking about the decriminalization of pot. Now, he made clear to say, don't support legalization, but he was very much saying that, the sentences that we give people are too long, and we got too many people going to jail and their lives being ruined by this. So it's a lot of it's kind of the Project Sam thing. He said, quote, "As governor, I have begun to implement policies that start us toward a decriminalization by introducing alternative drug courts that provide treatment and softer penalties for minor offenses." And he was saying this while in Davos, Switzerland, where they're having a World Economic Forum. But for Texas, that's a Texas governor who's taking the position of decrim. That's a huge move.
That is a huge move.
Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana, right next door, came out in favor of medical marijuana, saying, now if it's strictly limited, and it's just really sick people, that he's coming out for that. So medical marijuana in Louisiana, decrim in Texas, and then Sharon Rabert with Peachtree Normal, our friend,
big friend
of the show, had a press conference with a bunch of other people and groups to announce a poll they had just released that showed 62% support for decriminalization in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
So we got Georgia, and then your guys out in Alabama, I know, had some polling that was pretty favorable for medical marijuana.
Yeah, they did. And I want to take a moment to just, like Russ mentioned, Sharon Rabert in Georgia Normal and Peachtree Normal. Big shout out to you guys, man. They walked up to the freaking governor's. There's a little video out there too. You can see it. But they basically walked into the governor's office right there and walked right up to the secretary there and flashed over and gave them over 15,000 signatures of some kind of letter or something.
Petition.
Yeah, petition. And,
now, they can't petition for, like, initiatives like we do, so this is just really just a, hey, look, we got a bunch of signatures.
Gosh, man, that's big-time stuff right there. And as Russ mentioned, Alabama, they were on the state capitol on Tuesday, as was Georgia. And so it was great to have two states right there, side-by-side, neighbors, both on the state capitol that day. And both of them, you guys can go to their websites and our Facebook pages. You can see pictures of them. Great group up there. They all made moves, and so Alabama's making moves right now. And just real proud of what's going on right there. I know Tennessee's introduced a medical marijuana bill, and that was... I mean, this is huge, guys. I mean,
and Florida, of course, has turned in over 1 million signatures for their medical marijuana
We've been
bill.
waiting on them for 20 years, dude. There's always... you go to Panama City or Destin or Pensacola, there's basically weed. I mean, it's just... that's just one of those states, man. I don't get it. I don't get Florida. No one does, though. That's why they're always in the news, with all kinds of stories, man. Who the hell gets Florida? All right, man. Urb Thrasher with Radical Russ. Russ, anything else for the news tonight?
Well, the only other story that was kind of interesting to me is the NFL. We do the Thrasher Sports Show, and the news coming out of the NFL is Commissioner Roger Goodell saying that the NFL would actually consider allowing medical marijuana use if they eventually get from their medical experts information that it was okay, that it was good for the players. Now, why this is really hitting now is because on, it was Monday or Tuesday on Real Sports, HBO's Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel, did a segment on marijuana in the NFL, not only pointing out how many players are currently using marijuana, which they estimate half the league is, but talked to a former Broncos wide receiver, Nate Jackson, I think's his name, about his use and how, it was the best painkiller and all these guys get addicted to opioids. But then also went to Israel and talked to Dr. Meshulam out there in Israel and investigated the use of cannabinoids to stave off concussion injuries and how it could save up to 50% of their brain matter. And they confronted the NFL spokesperson on this, had him in for the interview, and all he could do is just keep repeating the talking point. Well, it's against the collective bargaining agreement for now, and our experts do not tell us that there's any, and if the players have a problem with pain, we recommend they talk to the team doctor, yada, yada, yada. And this HBO, the woman reporter, is like saying, this could save their brains from the injuries that you guys have just paid out or been had a settlement over for concussions. Well, if someday they tell us that, but
that's crazy stuff. Well, there's big time testing going on in Israel, and they're doing a lot of things. That's like the premiere on CNN that you saw with Sanjay Gupta. It was Israel that changed his mind, and so you guys, I don't know, but that's a great story. I loved it. At least they're not knocking it down right out of the bat.
Yeah.
So. Big time stuff. All right, how about some brand new Black Label Society?
Let's do that.
They don't like Black Label Society.
Are you sure?
Turn it up, folks.
I think they'll allow it.
Yeah, fucking Pantera right there. Big time stuff, man. Freaking love those guys. And last night, the Metal Masters 5 happened all over. And just badass stuff, man. You had Phil Anselmo and Russ. The highlight of my night was seeing Billy Sheehan.
Oh, one of my favorites.
On stage with Kerry King of Slayer, Gary Holt of Slayer, Phil Anselmo of Pantera.
Wow.
And Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, and he's now the Winery Dogs, and he's in like 10 bands now. But fucking, they did some amazing stuff, and I think they sang Postmortem or Rain and Blood, one of those two songs, and it was just amazing. And you also got to see, and Billy Sheehan was the highlight of my night, and I'm a thrasher dude, but he is a monster. But he got on stage also with Steve Vai, and they did like a 7-minute version of Shy Boy.
Yeah, they played together for a long time.
I know it, dude. Yeah. And, you know, they can just look at each other, and each other's eyes makes each other's instrument play.
We have got a, since Governor Christie was singing for with the Almonds, we figured let's get the Almonds.
Makes sense.
Here we go.
Turn it up, folks.
telephone lines are down. There's no one left in town. I figure everybody drowned. There was just so much blood. The horizon's red and the sky's gray. The bridges are all washed away. I figured there'd be hell to pay, but I've never seen so much blood. Miss Mary shinnied up a tree. A branch broke, she floated free. Went down 4 times and came up 3. There was just so much blood. No one left offer proof for those that made it to the roofs. Died of horror when they learned the truth, that there could be so much blood. There was just 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 so much blood. I'd have called you before. Get to the door, I slipped on the floor. There was just so much blood. They were laying sticker in the ground on the graveyard at the edge of town. The clouds burst and it all came down. There was just so much blood. Coffins bobbed around like boats. The crow sang a siren note, and I didn't even have a coat. There was just so much blood. I guess no one saw the signs. They said the rain would do us fine. I bet they didn't have this in mind. There was just so much blood. And it filled my human heart with dread. When the clouds had finally bled, it looked like someone had painted Venice red. There was just so much blood. There was just so much blood. There was just so much blood.
There you go, boys. A little bit of Pine Box.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood. They're playing tonight in San Francisco with Jake Orbis and the Broken Band, who were our guests in hour one. Really appreciate everything that those guys did. Had a great time. You guys definitely check our YouTube page. Check out all the videos that we have up, and we'll be posting more A lot of shows coming up, folks. And so keep posted right here at 420radio.org. And big time stuff, man. You know, we're always going to be moving forward, always got things going on. It's a brand new year, and legalization is right around the corner. Before that was old-time Allman Brothers, Russ, In the Woods.
Yeah, Jessica. Love that. And, you know, it's great to hear a well-choreographed and arranged instrumental.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of great instrumentals anymore.
Yeah. All right, folks, don't have a lot of time. Want to make it quick. Shout out to everyone. All you guys in the chat room tonight had a great time. We're going to end this night with a big Funkadelic block, dude. I had a... You know, every now and then, man, I just get these whims, man. And today I ended up talking with my friend Joey on Facebook, and he got me all fired up, and we had this great chat about Psychofunkapus. They were one of my favorite bands back in the 90s. And then I found Follow for Now, and, you know, one thing led to another, and then I was feeling funky. And we've had Outlaw Bluegrass on tonight, and we've had rock on tonight, we've had thrash. And it's just been an amazing night. So you guys definitely appreciate all the support you have given us. Friend us, man, on Facebook. I love having chats. Friend us on YouTube. And tell us what you guys want to hear. Tell us some of the bands you want us to go catch and interview, and we'll bring them to you. All right, you guys be safe. Have a great weekend. Let's turn it up, and let's have some Funkadelic. Big Daddy Fink up next.
I know you want to hear. Jackie starts to quiver, she begins to sweat. Johnny's only smiling cause he knows he got away. He starts to move in closer, her body starts to itch, and a little voice inside her tells her, young love is a bitch. 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 He's got a crush on a Spanish teacher, but all he does is treat her like a senorita. She understood in minutes, doesn't wear a bra. Bodies like hers ought to be against the wall. She waits till glasses over when she moves across the room. Teachers getting nervous just by smelling her perfume. He looks her body over as she tells him, and finally he takes her thinking, young love is a bitch. 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 Ain't that a trip? Stop before you stop. Stop. Don't
Attention Earth and all surrounding planets. You are now instructed to turn off your television. And so, to keep herself in the know, she watched the Would-We Picture Show. Trying to keep up with the who's thumping who's so-and-so, but I've come to disrupt the flow. I claim no authority, just move cause I said so. Take your set and chunk it out the window, and attempt to live without the ominous glow of Channel 4, of Channel 3, of Channel 2, of Channel 1, of Channel 0. Makes a man all pause. And if you got a woman, she might make you forget yours. There's a 5-letter word that describes a character, for her brain's being watched by an actor. And every real man that tries to approach, come the closer he comes, he gets just like a roach. I don't think I can handle, she goes channel to channel, go looking for a hero. She watch Channel 0. She watch Channel 0. She watch, all added up to 0 and nothing in her head. She turns and turns and she hopes the soap's up for real. She learns that it ain't true, no, but she won't survive and rather dies alive, falls a fool for some dude on the tube. I don't think I can handle. She goes channel to channel, go looking for a hero. She watch Channel 0. Cause I know she don't know. I quote, I bring you trained by 2-4 into a motor revolution, a solution for all of our children. But the children don't need as much as a show. I mean, watch you worship the screen and feed for a TV ad, and it makes me mad. I don't think I can handle. She goes channel to channel, go looking for a hero. She watch Channel 0. Zero. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. Get down. Go. I'm thinking with 1. And then it went 2. And then it went 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done.